We are recording now. All right.
Yes.
Let me just run through it again really quick then. Hi, I'm Virginia
Yeah.
Law Liberty. I am an oncology certified nurse practitioner, a wellness coach, an advocate for community health, for women's empowerment, and for cancer awareness, prevention, quality of life for survivors, and also former Mrs. Arkansas. I have been married for, 13 years now. My husband and I have been married since 2011. We have a blended family of 3 teenage girls, and 2 of them getting ready to go to college, and 1 is a junior. 2 of the most challenging experiences of my life have been having teenagers and being a state pageant title holder. One of the things that I've said since I competed in my very first pageant at the age of 36 and gained the title of Mrs. Arkansas America is that my favorite thing about pageantry is that it encourages women to become involved in making a difference in a cause that they believe in. While pageantry is often thought of as being an empowering adventure, there are many women who compete in pageants that go home without the crown every year. Some return to compete again or enter another pageant system, and many do not. These women have some remarkable stories and inspirational platforms, and I would like to give these women an opportunity to share their unique journey, why they chose to compete in a beauty pageant, and explore how the pageant experience affected the pursuit of their goals as an uncrowned contestant. Is that kind of what you were expecting?
Segue into me wholeheartedly.
Exactly
You
into
know,
you. So
yes, I personally, we are a blended family as well. We're a beautiful family of 6. We have 4 children, so we have 1 together, and then I have 2 daughters, and Shane has a son that I've adopted as well. And so we are the epitome of blended. We've been married for 18 years
wow.
and together for 20, and it just feels like a whole nother life because whenever Shane and I got together, we were truly a pair made in heaven. Like we do everything together, and we really truly enjoy it. One of our things that whenever we got together, immediately that we knew was that we were going to be of service to the Lord and to our community together. And through that, I had a heart for foster care because I grew up in foster care. My husband had a heart for it as well because he grew up serving in the church as well. And I it's kind of funny. I say I'm as Baptist can get because I grew up with the Arkansas Baptist Children's Homes and Family Ministries in their children's home and in their foster care program. And then I grew up to be the president of their board, and I grew up to also be a director with the Southern Baptist Convention. And it just has molded into this beautiful part of service in our life. So whenever I came to the pageant, I came because who doesn't love to get dressed up and talk about things that they love? And that's exactly what I did. You know, we talked about our platform. One of my platforms that I talk about is in life, we have so many highs and lows. We talk about the mountains and we talk about the valleys, but there's so many plateaus in our lives that we really don't know what to do with. And we say that plateaus can become a platform. So in our lives, there are so many times that we're not on that mountaintop or we're not in that valley, but we just need direction. And that has what the Lord has given us so much strength even in the plateaus of our life, and we have had plenty. Let me tell you, you know, people don't talk about, we were kind of touching on this, people don't know what people are going through. You know, we put on these beautiful dresses and we do these beautiful things in our lives, and we do it because it's our heart. But there are so many things that people go through that people don't know about. And I know that a platform also can become a testimony because in God's timing, things work in our lives that we're able to share our testimony about certain things. And in my personal life, that's where I came into the pageant was I want to share and love on these foster kids in such a huge way that I know that this platform of Mrs. Arkansas America could be just a huge way to show foster kids in another light. You know, I've spoken on Capitol Hill. I've won the Catherine Hershey Award. I've done a lot of really cool things, but who doesn't love a crown and to go around and show beautiful people how beautiful they really are? And I've done a Bible study on crowns and how we are crowned by the Lord. And I just think it's just such a symbol of how how we can do things for the glory of God, but at the same time be beautiful and called and set apart. And so there's just so many reasons why I wanted to join the pageant. And I knew that one person would go away with it. And I knew whenever you and Tiffany receive those crowns, like I could see how much of an impact y'all's ministry was going to be. Like I could see how it lined up so perfectly with each other, and there was no malice in me. I was just so excited. I got Mrs. Congeniality, and that's one of my favorite movies in the whole wide world. So
Mine too.
so I was like, thank you very much. I'll take it. And then I watched y'all's journey as you walk through it. And it was a beautiful thing to watch, because not only did you guys do what you were supposed to do with your crown, but y'all went a step above. And I really felt like I learned more about childhood cancer. I learned more about both of your ministries and how that worked together, and how y'all did that so beautifully together. So while I did not win the crown, I won a lot in the process.
Well, that's a beautiful sentiment. I really appreciate you saying that. And you've already kind of touched on several of the things that I plan to ask you about. So you're doing a great job. So tell me a little bit about, how did you prepare to explain to the judges how you chose your platform, how you intended to make an impact, and how do you feel your work over the past year would have been different if you had won?
Sure. So whenever I went into this, I automatically knew that because my whole life journey has been foster care and adoption advocacy. So I knew that that would be my platform. And whenever I went into it, just looking at the past winners and what they had done, I saw how it could really catapult, if you use it correctly, into this beautiful thing of spreading it further. So that was my goal, was to be able to just spread my story, and hope that somehow that would generate in other people's lives, and that they would get more and more and more involved in foster care, because there are so many things that so many people can do. You know, there are over 4,500,000 children in Arkansas, not in the whole United States, that need a home in foster care, and so many that need to be adopted. And while even our family is not an adoptive family, we do not feel called to foster, and we do not feel called to adopt. There are so many other things that you can do, and those people that are called to adopt and foster can do what they need to do, because there's so many ministries now that can wrap around the foster family, or wrap around the adoptive family, that are put in place. And it started in the state of Arkansas and has went around the entire nation of an example of how that can be done. And it's beautiful. It started with Connected Care out of Little Rock, and they literally are using that throughout the nation to use it as a basis of just an example of how to do it right.
Connected Care, you said it's called?
Yes, it's called Connected Care. It's through the Arkansas Baptist Children's Homes and Family Ministries, but at the same time, it's hard to explain, because they have all these different ministries within a ministry that different directors take care of. So adoption is one, connected care is their foster care part of it. Desired Haven is another part of it, which is I think about my mom with Desired Haven. I'm an orphan, long story short, but I'm an orphan as a teenager. And I think about my mom whenever she came from Baltimore. I'm a northerner by birth. And I think about whenever she came to Little Rock, Arkansas from Baltimore, Maryland. And this ministry allows moms to stay with their kids. They get goals. We've seen RNs graduate from our program. We've seen so many beautiful outcomes come because they need a place to live. They need somebody to give them a leg up. They need their children to have goals. They need to have goals. And through that, they can have success. But when it's just a mom out there trying to survive with 3 kids, it's just not going to work unless you have help. And that's something that my mother didn't have. So I really love their Desired Haven program. And then they've got the ranch that's up in Harrison that has boys and girls that live on a campus that are foster children, but they live in a way that it's a family. And then they serve up to 40 children there at all times. I think they've served over the state 3,000 in their facilities. So they've got one in Monticello, which isn't too far from my home that I grew up in. They've got 80 acres and horses. We had a horse program. I grew up being, that was a sense of pride for me because I was like, well, I ride horses and I go to gymnastics and,
Yeah. And that's what other kids get to do.
Yeah. For a foster kid, it is such a privilege. Like, we don't take those things for granted. Whenever I got braces, I had a orthodontist that took care of me, that from the age of 5, whenever I went into foster care, he said, I want to take care of Stephanie's smile. So this orthodontist said, okay, this is our plan throughout Stephanie's life, and I will forever be grateful for my smile.
Mhm.
Every time somebody compliments my smile, I try to tell them about Dr. Jean Howard.
I think I remember you talking about him last year too. That's a pretty unique story. So
Yeah,
I love that.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
good. Now, do you feel like you made some connections and appearances with your local title before or leading up to the pageant or even afterwards that you think were beneficial towards, your campaign and your goals already?
I would have loved to. And now that I know what the pageant process is, I feel like this year, if I do go in as Mrs. Central Arkansas, I feel like I will have a stronger way of doing that. I didn't have any mentorship at the beginning of it, so I didn't really use it as much as I could have. I used it in small ways, but I could use it in a lot larger ways now that I've seen other queens and how they use their local crownings. And it's such a step into your community that it's a cool thing that I'll be able to take more advantage of.
I think some of the girls that were competing this year really got out there, at least
Love
here
it.
locally. So I was pretty impressed.
Yes. Well, you were a good
Yeah.
example.
Well, so that was sort of my next question. Is you mentioned not having a lot of mentorship early on. What sort of mentorships or examples or coaching have you followed or had since then?
So at the beginning, I had zero. I just knew that I wanted to be a part of this. And I knew that it was something that I wanted to do. But since then, I connected with Miss Lynn, the wonderful director. And she had me at her home and she explained some things to me and just some good ways of partnering and doing things locally. And that was kind of towards the pageant whenever I was doing it. So it was a good lesson for if I decide to go for Mrs. Arkansas 2025.
So it sounds like you feel like winning the title and the crown and the sash would help you to make contacts and really expand that platform a lot further.
Absolutely. I do, I'm not being boastful or posh at all, I promise. I have a lot of contacts in the world that I'm in. Like I in foster care and in ministry and with the Baptist Convention and with, a lot of different, even in our non-denominational church that we go to, in our community, we have a lot, but I have seen in this platform with Mrs. Arkansas America how it's much broader than just my little world. So I could see how it would definitely stretch me, and I could see how I needed to be stretched.
Well, sometimes for a lot of us, it takes some sort of goal or deadline or role of responsibility to give us that push and to really make us, really get out there. Now,
Yeah.
how do you feel about your social media and interview skills? You're doing a phenomenal job with interviews so far. There's a lot of social media involved with
Sure.
pageantry. A lot of, if you follow any of the beauty queens, you'll see lots of posting reels and there's a lot of. So how do you feel about your social media skills?
Okay, so I'm a 47-year-old mother of 4 children, and I feel like my older children, my oldest is 28 years old, so I feel like they have more of the skill set on like TikTok and things like that, but they're teaching me. They are. Anything that I need to step up on, they definitely call me out on. So I feel like those are definitely huge platforms, though. Not to be funny about it, they're huge platforms that can reach so many people. And I saw you guys like as soon as you won, y'all were doing your TikToks and getting out there. Oh, it was so cute, so cute.
Yeah.
So I will, I will, as a human being, even if I'm not crowned, try to get better at that because it was cool how you guys did that, and it was engaging.
All right. Well, that's good. Now, you said, had you competed in pageants before the Mrs. Arkansas pageant? You said you did do it the year before or 2 years ago.
Well,
When did you do it the first time?
I was going to do it the year before, but unfortunately, my husband had a lung collapse like the week of the pageant.
Wow.
So, yes, and he could have stepped in for me, but we're a family that kind of is very close knit. So we stayed with him and supported the ladies from afar. But yeah, so that I didn't get to be in it.
Okay. So the very first year you competed was
The
2023?
year that you did,
All
yes,
right.
that you,
Well,
yes,
and you were what, our third runner up?
yes,
So I
yes.
mean, that's still very good. You obviously
Yeah.
must have done well in your interview and, did well
Well,
on stage to get.
just honestly, I feel like that might have been a little bit of a Healy's kill for me because I don't feel like I did as well in my interview as I did, just in the other parts of it. I felt like and there's always something that we can work on. Hey, I feel like these skills that we learn in pageantry go on through your life. The interview was great. I felt like I was going to pass out. If everybody's being honest, so did they. And it was a very nerve-wracking, never being in a pageant like that before. It was very nerve-wracking, but very fun. But
Yeah.
very, like,
Well, and
did I do
I
this
don't think I
right?
realized that that was your first pageant either.
Yes, yes, it was. Well, I didn't even get to do any. I went to Buffy's on that first one, but that was it. That's all I got to do.
Gotcha.
But I did get to meet everybody, which was a lot of fun. I just didn't get to go to the pageant. I didn't get to be in the
Right.
pageant.
Have you stayed in touch with any of the other contestants from this last year?
I think every one of them. Yeah,
Nice.
I think every one of them. Yeah, yeah. It truly is a sisterhood. And a lot of the same, you'll see a lot of the same contestants from year to year will come back. And that's why it truly is a family. Whenever I couldn't attend this year because of some private things that you and I have talked about off air, um, Lynn messaged me and she said, honey, you're a part of our family. Come to this or come to this, honey. I
Oh,
know we can't do it this year, but I want you to just be a part of our family. And for me, growing up in foster care, it's a whole nother level whenever you talk to me about family. And I truly feel like Lynn and this pageantry, just the whole pageant is part of my family as well. I really truly feel that way.
yeah. Well, that's beautiful. So I tried to email myself my list of questions, and
Sure,
I guess my email didn't go through. So let me just click off of here really quick.
you got it. I'm going to take a
And
drink of my Red Bull.
that sounds like a great idea. Let me just pull up my notes really quick here. I'm going to email it to myself like I had originally tried. That way I'm not going back and forth on my phone.
Tell us all how to say your last name, Virginia.
La Liberty, like
La
the
Liberty.
Statue of Liberty. Like the Statue of Liberty with a law at the beginning.
La Liberty.
Ah,
I like it.
there's that. All right, so I've emailed that to myself. Okay, let me come back over here. Tap to return. All right, let me get it pulled up over here. Closed. And the only reason I'm putting us on pause, I mean, I could still ask you questions that I remember, but I don't want to be going back and forth while I get them all pulled up.
Hey, you got it. You're good.
Email. Can't believe it wasn't more prepared. You would think that I would have done something like this throughout the year, but really I just
Hey,
didn't have
look at me. I
opportunities
just
to
woke
do
up.
that. That's true. All
It is
righty,
what
here
it
we
is.
go.
We make it happen, don't we?
All right. Now, how did you first hear about the Mrs. Arkansas America pageant? What was your first exposure to it that made you realize that was a thing and you wanted to be a part of it one day?
This is going to sound so silly, but I'm someone that loves to get dressed up and we do fancy things and fun things. And that was just on my heart. And I was literally looking around at pageants and things in our area, and Mrs. Arkansas popped up. And then I was looking at the criteria, I was looking at the different things, I was looking at Miss Lynn, and I'm a stalker whenever it comes into something that I'm going to do or I'm going to be a part of. So I really dug deep into it to make sure that that was something that I wanted to do. So it was really just me researching and seeing if that's something that I wanted to be a part of.
Wow. Well, that's really cool that you searched for that on your own. So you were looking for a way to make a difference and to have a bigger voice with what
Absolutely.
you were already doing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. What do you feel like was the most challenging aspect of preparing for the pageant?
Hmm. I would say the most challenging would probably be health, because we get dressed up and we do these things and it's a lot of fun, but at my age, I'm 47, so at my age I was 45, 46 at the time. And I was on a journey, so I had been on a journey for, I guess, about 3 years to lose weight, to be more healthy. My husband and I said we were going to be fit and 50 instead of fat and 50. And so we had been on this journey of losing weight, and I was 189 pounds whenever I started, and we just morphed, excuse me, morphed into this 130 pounds of muscle and tan and, you know,
Wow.
resilience with our bodies. And my husband fell through that. Our family started getting more healthy through it. So while it was the hardest thing, I would say it was also a strength for us because oftentimes, as you know, sometimes the hardest things in life are the things that make us stronger. Although it's not fun, it is sometimes the things that make us stronger. So we're stronger for it, but I would definitely say the working out and the health part were the hardest part.
That's completely understandable, and I agree. And I have to admit that with all of the obligations that I've kind of put on myself this last year, I have failed to remain as steadfast with my physical fitness as I should have.
Unfortunately, it doesn't show.
But
I said, fortunately, it doesn't show.
thank you. I do try to eat pretty well. I will say
Yeah,
that I'd still try to eat mostly healthy foods.
yeah.
Let's see here. It sounds like your friends and family supported your journey.
Oh my goodness. Yes. You know, I was talking about my foster family. My foster family growing up was this, you know, you often hear about all these different moves and all that. While I had a lot of moves, there were 14 for me, there were a lot of moves, but they were in between my biological family, my foster family, and a children's home. So I was fortunate enough to stay with the same foster family. It was a Baptist preacher and his wife, and we're a sibling group of three. And we, what was your question? I'm sorry.
How did your friends and family support your goals for the pageant?
So my foster family from whenever I was little was actually in the crowd with us. So that shows
Wow.
how they are a part of my life every day. Like I just went kayaking with them with our family the other day. And then of course my entire family, my daughter, her girlfriend or her boyfriend, and their family from Mississippi drove in. My in-laws, we just have a very tight family, and family and friends. If you're a part of our circle, it's a true circle.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So one of my best friends, she supported me all the way through. She bought an ad. She came to the pageant. She even flew to Vegas to watch me at nationals. But
Oh,
she and my husband and my daughter, I think, were the three that actually came to all the way to Vegas to see me. But she, throughout the entire process of campaigning and getting ready to compete, was kept asking, well, how do you think this is really going to make a difference? How do you think having the crown and sash is going to help you like spread the awareness? How is that? And I had no pageant experience, so I didn't really know how to explain it to
right.
her. I would tell her, well, you go to more events and you make more appearances so that you can talk to people. And she's like, I mean, like I wouldn't necessarily go to a pageant just because there was a beauty queen there. So, I don't know that it necessarily increases, the public in attendance for those types of things. So, what are your kind of thoughts on how it's going to help you, how the organization and the Crown and Sash are going to help you actually engage people with you?
Well, I think too, the people before me have really catapulted that for the stage that I'm on now in the pageant world if I were to compete this coming year. Because you and Tiffany, and I'm not just bragging on you guys, I'm just saying it, if you do it right it's not just about the crown. It's not just about the flowers and the pageantry. It's about the mission that you brought to the table. And it's about how you walk that out and how people learn about that mission. So for me, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to look back, learn from the wisdom that was there before, and then put my personal spin on it. So I will dig deep from what has been and what will be.
Well, that makes sense. One question that I have that's a little controversial, and I may not even include it in the interview when I ready to post it. So I think most contestants, myself included, had a pretty good, we worked really hard on what our job was, what our role was, what we were going to do. What do
Right.
you feel the organization's job, task, role, expectations of them? What do you feel those are in the mission of Mrs. Arkansas?
So, I didn't really get to know the other people other than Lynn, if that makes any sense. I met quite a few people like at Buffy's, and I didn't really get to bond with the previous, like I've bonded with you. I didn't really get to bond with the previous queen. So I believe in this setup that the previous queen um, is somewhat of a mentor for the new queen, but also if it were a perfect world, Lynn would be a part of that too, but not just Lynn. All the people that it took to put it together, like the other directors, and Lynn and her husband are so great, but they can't do it all. So I'm not quite sure how to answer that because I haven't walked the crown, but I would say that it takes a village, and one queen can't do it all, and one director can't do it all. So if the village all works together properly, I think it turns out beautiful.
Well, so that was one thing that I tried to pass on with this year's contestants is, I made them all little bio sheets and I would post them on social media about what their platform was and who they were to try to let people know about who the people were coming in. So they would have hopefully some emotional and personal investment in, the
Right.
contestant that they wanted to win. And also I didn't have that experience myself as a contestant coming in. And so I hoped that that would be one way that I could empower the next round of contestants.
It reminds me of the outgoing president's kids and the incoming president's kids, because they leave a note in the desk. I'm at a desk. They leave a note in the desk for the upcoming president's kid, the old kids from the last U.S. presidency. And then the new kids come in and they read their notes and their things about what was great and what wasn't about the presidency. And they're very honest. Nobody gets to see these notes but the president's kids. And it kind of reminds me of that, how you've set that up for these ladies. Yeah.
I did not know that about the president's kids.
Yes. So if I were to compete and if the Lord did bless me with it, I would hope to have something like that for sure.
Sure. Yeah, sure. All right. When you were preparing for the pageant, was there anything that you changed sort of about maybe say your daily routine or anything that you changed about your personal habits or anything that you changed in order to prepare for the pageant that either you went back to or that you've incorporated into your daily life now?
Absolutely. So I would not have been able to do one thing without my husband. I mean, I truly say that, not just because he's my husband, not just because he's literally sweeping the floor, because we have a documentary crew coming this evening for us, but because he is our number one in this house. He is the one man amongst many queens in our house. And Yes, yes. So we all had to work together in order to make it work. And we had to change. And even Shane, it was so cute. Shane is my husband. He changed up his diet. He's like, honey, I am going to look amazing for this suit for you. And boy, did he. He looked really good.
Aw.
And he said, I don't want to walk around across that stage and not have worked as hard as you. So we both physically really put our heart in the physical part of it. I feel like it's in both of our fiber to have already been ready for the mission side of it, like the purpose, the driven part of it, and to learn more about how we're going to drive that into what we're doing in that next phase. But physically, we really put it into gear to get us ready for the crowning and for whatever happened. Like just because we weren't crowned or I wasn't crowned, man, that really changed the trajectory of our relationship, of our lives. It helped us so much to be able to be healthy. We're still healthy, because we didn't get crowned. We're not boohooing, and we're excited about each new chapter in our life, and we always have been. So, and we truly were just so excited for you and Tiffany. We really were. We
Aw.
truly were. And we benefited from it, like I said, from the health aspect of it as well. I mean, I got to win some pretty cool awards that night too. But
Mhm.
at the same time, I
You got the
walked
best
away.
one.
I walked away healthy. I'd never had a spray. Not I've had a million spray tans, but spray makeup, and I felt like $1,000,000. Like just
Okay.
all the little helps and tips that they taught us with
Yeah.
the makeup and the hair, and I learned so much. I'm like, cha-ching. Yeah,
So it sounds like you definitely feel like the cost of all of the preparation of everything was far worth it for the experience
absolutely.
and what you learned and what you took away. Yeah,
Absolutely. You talk
that's
cost.
awesome.
It cost us quite a bit because I overdid a lot just to make sure that I had what I needed.
You got a couple of dresses too, didn't you?
I did. I might have an attic full of gowns.
Oh my goodness. So if you are to compete again, do you think you would rewear some of this or choose one of the dresses you already have possibly?
I'm not one that goes backwards. I would probably go to Buffy's and get Jordan and his crew to pick me out some new. I love a fresh new season. Give me a little bit of Bridgerton going on. It has to be that season, or I just really, I really, I know that each season has its new little flair. So, like this year, of course, I watched the pageant, the red swimsuits. Oh my goodness, take it up a notch. That was good.
They were fire.
And can't wait until we do two pieces, but but it was beautiful. It really was. I loved how the trains were put into things. Like y'all had trains on. I thought that was so pretty. Capes. There were capes going on. Yeah. Yeah, I need the newest and latest.
Okay. Um, what do you feel like your favorite part of the pageant experience or, the most memorable moments from the pageant were?
Hmm. The most memorable moment from the actual pageant, like on stage?
Sure. We'll start with that.
Okay. So on stage, I think my favorite part of the pageant was that I got out on the stage and did not fall. I had been practicing. Listen to me. I'm a Southern Belle and I wear my heels, but those are some heels.
I'm telling you, it's a different
I
experience.
I hired a coach to teach me to wear these heels.
Oh,
So
wow.
for me to be able to just wear those heels, because I'm a tomboy at heart, like hey, I can dress up with the best of them, but I can walk outside without shoes on too. So for me to be able to dress up that beautifully and to wear that gown and to do it seamlessly was a big deal for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I agree that that is a very challenging part for
It really
many
is.
women.
Well, think about
You
those shoes.
you have to practice. I mean, you have to.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember hearing me say that I practiced on my treadmill with my heels on, and
Hey,
that's
one of
how I
my favorite
prepared.
parts about you um, during that time was seeing you do your push-ups on the bars before we go in. You're like doing this, and I'm like, well, she's one.
It's so
That's
funny that
our
you say
winner.
that.
Winner,
You know,
winner,
this
chicken dinner.
so this year, one of our contestants, she does CrossFit. She had some weights back in the back. So I did a little bit of shoulder pumping before I walked out on stage for my final walk. Had a little shapeliness.
Yeah, if I did compete this year, that's something that's a strength that I'm going to be working on even harder is arms and legs.
Nice. Did you watch any of the nationals or see any of our pictures from nationals?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They
So
were
what did you
beautiful. Oh
think?
my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah. It was there was a lot. There was a lot going on that whole 10 days. And we had so many chances to take pictures with people, and
Right.
it was really neat. So what
Well,
do you think
neat, but I
some
can imagine your schedule was very tight, but y'all had some of the most beautiful pictures come out of all of that.
we learned to be quite the little photographers ourselves. Um, Because you're pretty
Oh,
much, I mean, you have a photographer there, and she's there for official events, but you want so much more than that. So you kind of
right.
have to be your own personal photographer. So you
Nice.
carry around a selfie light, and you learn a little bit about angles and poses. Because by the second day of posing with our hands on our hips and our foot, bent at the knee,
Right,
I was like,
right.
we got to do something different. We cannot do 10 days of pictures in the same pose. So that's something to think about too.
That's interesting. I already bought
Hmm.
a little chair, and I said if I didn't compete that I would gift this chair. It's like a little chair that springs open, and then hold on just a second. Let me go shut this door.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's no problem.
It is actual life happening. My daughter is vacuuming, and we will praise the Lord for that.
Well, I will try not to keep you for too much longer.
No, you're good.
Um, if you were to compete again, is there anything that you feel like you would do differently?
Absolutely. Always looking back, you see the little things that could have been done better. The shoes that I brought, I wasn't real comfortable with. Definitely would switch out those shoes. I've already bought them, bought the new shoes that I practiced with. But also the interviews, to be as a matter of fact, whenever I first interviewed, he said, "This is your first interview, isn't it?" So it's painfully obvious that it was my first ever interview. So I'll be more sharp on that. Like with the cue cards, I love how y'all did cue cards and y'all were practicing. I did not practice as much as, I mean, I did, but not like cue card practice, it wasn't as
Yeah.
efficient. So I'll definitely practice more on my interview questions. Um, but other than that, I just had a good time. I came in with the attitude of I'm going to have a good time no matter who wins. We're all going to have a blast and it's going to be fun. So, no heartache from it. Lessons learned,
That's
definitely.
good. Yeah. I mean, that's the best attitude to have about the whole thing walking away. And I hope that all of the women who walked away that day felt the same way, because I hate that. I wouldn't want to think that anyone walked away from there feeling like they had, not met their own expectations or that they had failed, or I wouldn't want anyone to walk away with that feeling.
Sure.
So
Sure.
it sounds like you came in with the right outlook and, really left with the right impact on your
Yeah,
own, on yourself, and
I
really on
believe
all
so.
of us too. Like you said, you are our Miss Congeniality, so you definitely impacted every one of us. If you were to compete again and walk away again without the crown, do you
Sure.
feel like that would impact your goals going forward? I mean,
Um,
women sometimes compete 5 or 6 or 12 times before they win. So just curious what your, like, how important it is to you that you win in order to feel like you've accomplished a goal of some sort for yourself.
I've learned in life that each fresh goal is that goal. Like, I don't have a new goal outside of my goal that I have yet because that's just its own goal. Right now, my goal is to very possibly compete this coming year, but I don't have next year in mind. I just have this one thing in front of me, and I'm going to nurture it and try to do it as well as I can if I do it. Um, but the goal for me is not, I do want to win. Of course, I want to go on to nationals and do my thing. But at the same time, I want to, like I said, enjoy myself. I want to get my mission out there more. And from my last pageant, it's amazing how many people reached out to me and was like, wow, I didn't know this. I didn't know that about foster care. There were things that I got to plant seeds in other people's lives that they just didn't know. So I know that I can further that with the crown, but if it's not meant for me, I don't want it. I
Yeah.
really don't want it if it's not meant for me. They're
And
walking in and out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like that would have been my attitude as well. Like if it's not meant to be, then it's just not meant to be, and it's time to find a different goal. Like that doesn't
Right.
mean that you failed. It means that it wasn't the right goal, wasn't the right plan for you. But I mean, I definitely think that with the work that you've done and as beautiful as you are, and
Thank
really
you.
as inspiring of a platform as you have, that I feel like once you've, prepared maybe for your interview a little bit more and some other things, I
Yeah.
feel like you could have a really good chance at winning. So I really hope
Yeah.
that works out for you.
I'm excited about that. If I do this, it's just one step at a time.
That's a really good way to look at it. Well, I think those are the majority of the questions that I really kind of wanted to get at. When we started this interview, I did not realize that you were already planning on recompeting. So congratulations in advance.
Well, I spoke to Miss Lynn, and of course, we spoke candidly about a few other things. If those things line up and it's the good timing, then I'll do it. I last It was so much fun for me to be able to
Yes.
do it. So yeah,
Yeah,
if
the
it
whole
wasn't
pageant
fun,
weekend is just a whirlwind.
it
It's
is.
just one thing after another. It's pretty
It's like
dresses right after another. It's
it's
gorgeous
like
hair and
getting
makeup.
It's like getting a shot though. It's like the anticipation is like, oh my gosh. And then it's like, this was cool. This wasn't bad. This is helping me.
Yeah. All right. Do you have anything else that you would share with someone who wanted to compete in a pageant, someone else?
Absolutely. Through this journey, people have seen, obviously I'm middle aged now, and I've had teachers, I've had people at church be like, wow, maybe that's something that I would like to do, maybe that's something that, on down the road. And it's just an amazing, I can't say this without sounding so cheesy, but it is like a family. And for me to say that is a big deal because I don't just, this is going to sound a little posh, but I don't just let people in my circle. And for my circle to broaden for this family of pageantry is a big deal for me. And so I would say, for the people coming in or the people even thinking about doing it, do it. I mean, if you're thinking about doing it, just do it. It's,
Yeah.
you know, it'll be
Yeah.
fun. It'll be
Mhm.
fun. If anything, it's just fun. Don't go in with the attitude of, I'm going to win. I've got to win. You know, I put all this into this, or I put all the, if you're going into it with that mindset, don't do it. But if you're going into it with the mindset of, man, I've got this amazing platform. I love to get dressed up. I've got some sister pageant queens that are going to be amazing lifetime friends. You're going to get a lot more out of it.
Yeah, and that's true. And honestly, I don't think anyone outside of pageantry can relate to what it's like to pick out the dresses and to do all of the work to prepare for a stage. It's its
Yeah.
own, it is its own little family and its own little adventure. And really, I found meeting 50 other queens from other states in the country that
Yeah.
there were so many more all amazing platforms that I didn't know anything about beforehand. And
Right.
it was really inspiring to me to see that there are other people out there trying to make a difference as well. And I mean
Yeah.
the same, and I think that's one of the best things about being involved in the pageant.
I
So,
agree. Okay.
well,
Yeah.
thank you so
Well,
much for
thank
spending
you.
the time with me tonight,
Thank
the
you for
probably
having
almost an hour.
me.
So I'm
Thank
really
you for
excited to
having
put this
me.
together, and I will let
Yes.
you know when I get ready to get it posted, and so that way you can watch it.
And you'll have to teach me more about video stuff. I feel
See,
like
I'm not
that.
great at video stuff either, and I'm trying to get better at it. And that's another reason
Yes.
why I'm doing this is because I didn't develop all of the skills that I'd hoped I was going to develop during my year because I was so busy with, appearances and my schedule. So, a few things that I had really kind of set out to do at the beginning, which were like make videos to teach people about different quality of life things and
Oh,
interviews with people, survivors and things. I didn't really get a chance to get involved in that. Even though
huh.
I did, try to start the support group, and we're still kind of working on the best way forward for that to get it more out there. But there's definitely still things that I would like to work on for myself and my own personal development beyond the crown. So
I love it. Oh, that's a good one. Beyond the Crown. I like that.
don't steal it.
That sounds like a book.
Yeah.
All right, dear. I've got to help. We've got a documentary coming into our house this evening. So I've got my teenagers looking at me like, Dad, if I
Okay.
don't
What are
help
they
her.
doing a documentary on it? Just really
I
quick.
have a friend that I grew up in Monticello with that
Hmm.
has actually become a celebrity author, and he lives in California, and he's not only an author, he does hair. His name is Cody Renegar. Look him up on Insta or anything. It's Renegar, Renegar, so maybe Renegar, Cody. And he's amazing. He cuts hair, he does oil paintings, he flies everywhere. He's Gwyneth Paltrow's hairdresser. Um, he has a different lifestyle than I do, and that our family does, and then maybe our group does, as he has a husband. So his husband is the bodyguard for Gwyneth, and so they have this really cool life where they just jet set around the world and take care of celebrities' hair and their security. And he's coming to my house tonight with his documentary crew. So,
Wow. Well, I can't
no,
wait to see that too.
no. And my husband was getting on to me. You're really dead asleep. You've got a phone call and a documentary tonight.
You know what? You needed your beauty sleep, okay?
Hey, last week I had laryngitis, so I took some cold medicine in preparation for all this, and it yanked me out. I was
I can't do my cold medicine very well. It doesn't do it. We don't agree with each
well,
other.
know that I love you and that I'm so proud of you and that you have done amazing with the crown, and I've learned a lot from you.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Well, I'm excited for you, so I hope to keep in touch.
Yes, I will. I promise.
All right. Bye.
Bye, sweetie. Bye bye.